Didn't know I had to see the whole bedroom.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. I think we are now live. Thanks for joining us tonight. I've got Pop, the infamous PopPop here with me.
Hey, Reck. Hey, everybody.
Yeah. So congratulations, PopPop. You're my first non-author interviewee. So
I'm honored.
We're just adding to the legend. So
there you go. Okay.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Wait.
Well,
do I not count?
You don't count because it's your podcast channel.
Okay. You know what? That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Banned.
Yeah.
We both get banned.
I know, right?
Yeah. Well, for those who don't know, PopPop, you hit the lit RPG world in 2025 hard. You've been a personality. Yeah, you've been a personality in all of the lit RPG Discord forums that I'm aware of, and a legit celebrity at Lit RPG Con.
I contest that. I just walked around with books, hoping to get
stand up, sir, and show everybody your shirt.
This is because of Geneva.
So yeah. If Geneva doesn't make shirts for any random person off the street.
I am the official PopPop of Lit RPG.
And Busy Bard, thank you for I posted maybe the wrong time frame at one point on the LitCon server. So I'm glad you made it, and I'm glad you made it the right time. So but PopPop, in all seriousness, you're one of the web personalities in the community that is often pushing new and upcoming authors forward. And I just want to say personally, you did that for Stumbling Up, and for me, you were one of my first Facebook followers that actually commented on stuff. You know,
I like to do that. Even before getting into Lit RPG, I did a lot of first novel buying, and reading, just because it was getting a different voice, a different type of story out. So that's why I like to do it here as well.
Yeah, which is awesome. You know, I know that there's some of the forums. There was even a rumor that you were not a real person in the which
was over in Immersive Inc.
Yeah, Immersive Inc. Yep. Yeah. You know, I think it's there's a lot of haters out there in the world, and you're very obviously not a hater.
Oh God, no.
Yeah,
no.
You're just piling on love to the different authors and the community members. So, yeah.
One thing is, if you don't have something nice to say about a work, don't bother. Don't say it. I mean, unless you're going to give constructive criticism to the author.
Yeah.
If you're just going to be douchey, don't. Don't hurt someone by giving them a 1.
Yeah.
Because that could damage whatever they're going for. Just move on.
It could damage what they're going for. And, you know, I mean, you could, you know, especially in some of the forums where people are they're just baby authors, right? I mean, you could just, you could turn somebody off for being an author for years.
That's true. And one, I'm not, I consume.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, so far in everything that I've read in the last 10 months or 9 months, I've loved.
Yeah.
From the classics, you know, one of the first books I read after Dungeon Caller Carl was He Who Fights with Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And that introduced me to isekai and everything else. And, you know, I had to learn everything.
Yeah.
And I read through some of the other classics, and I just started falling into my own rabbit holes.
Yeah.
With all the different type of newer authors, you know, Jay and Sour Patch, Hunter, and the like, all thanks to the con and the Discord, actually.
Yeah.
Because we met all those people through Discord.
Yeah. It's one of the big things about Lit RPG Con is you get more of a spread of authors than you get at some of the other cons, because it's just focused on Lit RPG. You can have more variety of Lit RPG authors there. It's not just the big names. So
and we had the big names here, and we had the small names.
Yeah.
Not small names, but the new names.
The new names. Yeah. Yeah. I think if you look at some of the sales numbers for some of these folks, they're doing fine.
Sorry, guys. Cat stepped on the thing.
Richie's still here. Yeah.
That's why
Well,
I have dogs.
yeah. Well, let's take this further. So you've come on the scene, as you can see from the chat. We've had, like people knew who you were even before Lit RPG Con. But recently, you have started branding your Facebook as PopPop's Lit RPG World, and you're making a name for yourself by doing author interviews and more, specific reviews online and reels. I think you've got more reels than I've put together in the last year. So
They're kind of easy. They're kind of easy to do. And yeah, I basically am looking for a way to create my own future going forward, to see what I can do to keep me busy, to have something to do. And it's not so much interviews. I don't like to call them. I like to call them conversations. You'll see that because literally we're just talking.
Yeah.
I'm not going down through a series of questions or are, segues that I'll point out by. There are certain areas I want to discuss. I do my, I don't necessarily do in-depth research. I do enough.
Yeah.
So I know I want to hit all the points about that particular author. There's going to be a difference between what I do, to author A and versus author B. Today I did Sean Weeks. Sean Weeks isn't really an author yet because he's not published. He's just working on one.
Mm-hmm.
So there are different questions I asked for Sean. This Sean, and the other day I did Sean Hall. And yes, I am doing the Seans this for the next week or so.
Yeah.
So, I have a Sean coming up after this, if I'm still awake. He's a couple of time zones back. So, hopefully by the end of next week or the end of the weekend, I'll have the bulk of the Seans interviewed or conversed.
You've collected your Seans.
Start editing.
Yeah.
But then as I told in the Sean Weeks interview, I'm coming after the Troys next.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, I already had one. So, but
yeah.
No, the Ryans. I'm sorry, I had Troy Osgood on my brand. I'm coming after the Ryans next. Troy
Just
Osgood,
name by name. Yeah,
he has the Lit RPG Facebook group of the books that have just come out. So it's just money, book, and he just makes me extend that BJ's TBR forever and ever and ever and ever. And if you know what I mean by BJ's TBR, then you know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. But what you just said and how you explained it is exactly what makes you kind of compelling in the community, right? Is you're just like, I'm going after all the Seans. I don't care if you're a Sean that's been published or, or not. We're going to talk and have an interesting conversation and, bringing those voices forward. So I speak for all of us when I say we appreciate that. And the chat's all going crazy about you collecting Sean's and which spelling of Sean you're collecting. BJ says you are fueled by books and cookies. Is this true?
Well, say that again about the cookies. I love my cookies.
Fueled by books and cookies.
I am.
Yeah. And Busy Bard is indicating that we need more Bens in the world so that you can collect Bens as well. I agree. Rex as well, maybe.
How many wrecks are there really in the world, other than car wrecks and train wrecks and
just one.
So,
well, let's dive in a little bit to see what makes PopPop tick. So PopPop, I know your theoretical real name, but how do you wish to be addressed when you're in the world?
For the last 7 years at my job, I was PopPop. Ever since my first granddaughter was born back in 2019, I've been PopPop, and I was always going to be a PopPop because that's what my grandfathers were called. That's what my dad was called when we had our two girls. So I have just become PopPop. Okay. I answer to it. Okay. PopPop.
Right. So
if I'm ever called Steven, I usually end up running the other way because I'm in trouble.
Okay, so that's a note. If you don't want a hug from PopPop, just be like, "Hi, Steven, how are you?"
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm running. I'm going.
Noted.
The other way. Out.
Yeah. Well, I know that KT wants to know, and the world wants confirmation. Do you accept hugs from authors and fans?
I will
Or
take
just
books from authors, hugs from fans. I don't care. I am a hugger. I will do it.
okay?
I'm there.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean the
fine.
shirt even says that you'll.
And I'm
get
gonna have a
hugs.
new shirt. I'm gonna make myself a shirt this time because I want the image to be accurate, and
Mhm.
it'll be one of the newer versions.
Yeah.
that
Well,
I
when you
have
make a
going.
shirt, let me know. I think there's a few of us that want to cosplay as you at the next Lit RPG Con, and
I do have my cosplay outfit.
yeah. What's your cosplay
It's a
out?
secret. I won't even tell Meth. I'm not even telling Tiffany
Wow.
what that is. So it's state secret. BJ's not even gonna know. So sorry.
Okay, noted. And yes, Busy Bard, Steven is our safe word.
Then I know
Yeah.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Well, let's start off with a question from the Short King. He wanted to know why.
Why not? Why not? It's I can't help it. Tell him I can't help it. It's my charm. And I have a crap ton of charm.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me
Have you
me.
had that charm your whole life, or is it something that's grown on you?
It yes. When I was in first grade and I decided to have a drum solo with 53 napping first graders, that happened because of my charm.
I'm not sure your teacher would have called that charm.
Sister Mary Grace did not call that charm
No.
as she broke out the pointer. No.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, I guess I've
Jay,
been charming all my life.
are you satisfied with the
Jay's never
response?
satisfied with anything I
Yeah,
do.
throw it in the chat if you hmm. But
He's not.
really, at the end of the day, why are you a super fan of Lit RPG? What about the genre draws you in?
So I read Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I got sucked in with just the action, just the driven action that you have to keep moving forward with the dungeon and with the show, and with the achievements and all that fun stuff. Um, and as I branched out, and I just liked the game driven attribute, just how you can improve yourself, and how there could be so many different types of subcategories in the genre. Or if we want to talk to Jay and Matt, in the style, because according to them it's not a genre, it's a style of writing. um, but there's so many different ones, and you get to choose isekai, you get to choose apocalypse, you get to choose regression, progression, cultivation, and it's just there's just so many choices to do it from. And I love my apocalypses. I
Yeah,
just I get drawn to them. I like the isekais, that you can have different types of isekais that you can have. It's just whatever the author can come up with, whatever twist he or she can do. It's something different, and it's something to draw you in. And I just like that there's so much variety, and that's
yeah.
probably what sucks me in the most.
So it sounds like progression plus the variety of everything. Would you consider Apocalypse your kind of favorite subgenre of the moment?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because there's just so many you can do with it. I mean, I'm reading Shadow Sun right now by Dave, and I'm on book 2 of that. But in the background, I also have still going through the Aaron Ampersand series, and I have uh, the Apocalypse is a side quest. So there's so many different things, but they're always seeming to be going towards an apocalypse or coming out of the apocalypse. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah, it is.
yeah. No, that's fair. Do you I just read Golem Master and
Excuse me.
and before that, I'm trying to think. There's some book I read before. Oh, you know what it was? It was Bog Standard. I was reading Bog Standard. I got through all 3 books of it, and I was gonna hop over to Discount Dan, and it was too similar. So I did a palate cleanser. It did.
Okay, well, yeah, I haven't read.
Columnist.
I haven't read Bog Standard.
Yeah,
You know, everyone should know by now that Discount Dan.
yeah.
Is,
A Discount Dan's at like top of my list, but I needed to switch it up so I could go back to it. But are you like just like reading you're like apocalypse, or like you get on a mission and you read all of one book, or do you jump around the genre?
I will jump around.
Yeah.
That's the ADHD or the ADD. I will, I sit down to read a book and then I see something different and I'm like, well, I'll try that. Just like with Dave Wilmoth's, I just got to read it and I've now been sucked into it, and I'll probably get through the 6th book. Very similar to what happened with Jez's Rise of Mankind. I hit Age of Stone back before the con, and I was trying to stretch out through all the con authors. We were going through that whole.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing.
Hit the cons beforehand. I kept going back to the next one, and the next one, and I got through all 8. In the Rise of Mankind,
not a
I just
small accomplishment. Yeah,
you just get drawn in and you keep going, and that happens. So I'll probably have to finish Dave's series and then get back into Side Quest and Aaron's book. But in the meantime, I'll also be interviewing or conversing with my authors that I can cajole into sitting with me.
Yeah,
and have to.
I imagine it's not too hard when you send that invite out.
No.
People.
James Hunter's ignoring me, so I think he just ran out of bathrobes and he doesn't want to admit it, that I'm not going to be able to get my real imitation Versace bathrobe.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen you interview Jay. Well, you did. You actually did.
I did.
And he didn't wear a mask, which I was kind of jealous of, since he,
the 1.5 million words. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
you got to be there. You have to be Johnny on the spot to get what you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Well, what is your preferred format? Are you an audiobook, physical, digital? Are you omnivore?
Book, physical. I've been reading physical books since forever. I've had hearing issues, so auditory doesn't do it for me as a primary source. And since ebooks came out, way late in my life, they're there, but it's not the same thing. Paging over with your finger, going to the next screen is not the same thing as flipping a book or flipping a page in a book. So I am primarily physical. I do have my Kindle. I do Royal Road now, mainly because of you, and then, I went down that rabbit hole.
Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, there's a lot of new fun stuff on Royal Road.
Sorry. So I did, when we went down to see Matt in a book signing down near Miami, I got the Audible version of Dungeon Crawler Carl, so Gims would have some context as we got down there, because it was a 4-hour drive. Yeah. So she was shushing me after a while so she could be listening to that.
That's a sign of that's good. That's a good sign.
Yes. Yeah. So now I think I have a couple 3 sitting in the background. I have book 1 of Sour Patches, I'm Not the Hero. And I was talking with Sean Weeks today and saw that an Audible credit came up, and I took Age of Stone. Once I saw that Neil Helligers did it, and I said, okay,
give it a try.
Now I have Age of Stone to listen to. Since I read it, I can, once I read something, I can then listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because then you're not like, you can fill in the blanks with what you already know, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Looks like Long-Winded One's got a book in the mail for you too. So you're going to need to double your bookshelf space.
He said that a month ago. He still hasn't gotten it out. Kidding, Jared. I'm kidding. Keep sending it.
Yeah. Well, so I know you've already mentioned that Dungeon Crawler Carl was the first book that got you into the genre, which is right now, I mean, that seems to be the book. Like if you've entered Lit RPG in the last couple years, normally people are saying Dungeon Crawler Carl, where 5-10 years ago it was more, Aileron with the
Alaron.
land, or Dakota with, Dungeonborn or whatever. But past Dungeon Crawler Carl, what are some of the books that really just kind of cemented your, like, I'm here to stay?
Again, a lot of it came out of the Discord, and it's going to be I'm not the hero. It's going to be Jay's Leon. The Will of the Immortals. Those are the two that got me branching beyond the quote unquote classics. I do like Primal Hunter. I read Primal Hunter 1. So I'll keep to that. And I have a tickle. I'm sorry. Okay. And then Jazz cemented that with the Rise of Mankind series. And I just kept listening. I mean, literally, when I saw Dungeon Crawler Carl, I had no idea. Still, when I picked it up off the shelf, that there was this world.
Yeah.
It was after I was reading it that I sit down on Facebook and I go, Lit RPG.
Mm-hmm.
And boom,
yeah. You just,
holy shit, what's this?
Yeah.
And then when I started learning everything, I'm like, what is isekai? I asked in either be it Lit RPG books or somewhere, what is isekai? And everyone was just, not assaulting a stupid old guy, but giving me, good histories or good stories or good definitions of what everything is. And that was one of the first things that struck me. Even all the other fans in the groups would just explain things to me. Mm-hmm. And I would just be able to branch out, and they'd give me listing, and now after 8 months, I know all I had to do was ask Andy Murphy for a list, and he would provide me, 12 sub lists of every book that could be out there. And I took pictures of all those lists. So if anybody wants them, they don't have to go to him. I can get them to you now.
Yeah.
So it's just that there's so much out there.
Yeah. Well, I heard in the beginning of that, I heard you say that Jay and Sour Patch were maybe two of the folks that got you in there. And it looks like both of them are listening today. So
Yay!
I just want to say, Jay and Sour Patch, you are maybe some of the key people responsible for PopPop.
You're responsible for me being here.
Yeah.
Not only that, it's also the below decks, the whole thing where I created, when I created the PopPop boomer persona that really launched that Immersive Inc. bot or not bot controversy.
Yeah. So you said that that you've been kind of in the book sphere for a long time, and you've lurked on other Discords and stuff before you found Lit RPG. Is there anything about the Lit RPG community that sets it apart from some of these other areas that you've been involved in?
It's the openness of the fan base, the openness of the authors, the openness of the professionals in the background. I was surprised at how open everyone was in the lead up to the con in the Discord. I have been in some Discords before or some Facebook groups, and the authors just weren't as involved with the fan base, or did not respond to fan base questions and or issues or concerns as much. And that was totally different with the Lit RPG community. And then when I got to the con, just, oh my God, you're such and such.
Yeah.
Gibbs and I were coming in on the train from the airport, and Rin was babbling on in the Discord about going for breakfast. I'm like, oh my God, we're almost there. Can you wait? We have to go to our hotel. And literally, she said, sure, I'm waiting. So we took the train, took the bus, got the Holiday Inn, walked down, and there was Rin waiting in the lobby of the Grand Hyatt with Jay Krause and Sydney Krause, and we all walked down to Syrup and had a great breakfast, which hopefully will become a tradition. Jay.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And that's the thing. It's like at Lit RPG Con, I was going to lunch with, it's funny because I personally didn't know what people looked like, so I would just go to lunch or dinner with people, and some of them were authors, some of them were fans. Like, you just didn't, it was like, here's a group of people, we're going to lunch, and it was a great way to meet people. Just sitting in the lobby.
And again, it's just going to talk. It's just
Mhm.
I will. The one thing that Gims doesn't like is I can go up and talk to somebody about anything upon like hearing a word.
Yeah.
I hear one word and I can start a conversation with a totally unknown person.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to put a pin in this. Richie, I'm going to summon you from the ether because I need to go answer my door real quick. And we'll let you two duke it out here for a second, and I'll be back.
I have been summoned. Is
That's
this
a scary
correct?
thought. Hey, Richie, how are you? The
What's up,
legendary
PopPop?
Richie Stevens. I'm going to have a conversation with Richie Stevens. Hey, Richie, what makes you tick?
Well, you know what? When I got a PopPop in here that's not banned yet, like I don't know how this episode got approved yet, but we're here. No, what's up, PopPop? How are we doing today?
I'm fine. I'm just thrilled that I'm actually answering questions and I don't have to.
You don't have to
be
come
the
up with them on the
motivating
spot, right?
force. So I'm just hanging back. That's a good thing. Any comments out there? Any questions?
Do I have any questions for the amazing PopPop? Who? I don't know.
This is inevitable.
It is inevitable, and I didn't realize I was going to be put on the spot, so I didn't prep anything. I know, horrible podcast host. Also, hi everyone. Let's see. Out of everything you've read recently, do you have like a top 3 in no particular order? So not like,
no,
hey, this
I
is
would
my number.
never do a particular order.
Exactly. I hate doing that. I can't do it.
The three that I can come up with. Now, there's another question that I know that Reck is going to ask me. I'm not going to include that book until he does. So if he doesn't, I'll bring it up.
Okay.
3 of the most recent ones that I've really, 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 really liked. Slayer Bowl by Kevin Johnson. Took a little bit to get into it until I found out the guy was in Philly. It started in Philly. And that's just it's a parody in my mind. It's a parody on DCC and on the Dungeon Crawl type series. And then Grand System Vending,
Ryan
Apocalypse
Maxwell.
by Ryan Maxwell.
That one comes out
Amazing book. It comes
like
out on the 30th official.
Yeah.
So I got it at Con when they had it at the Legion table.
I think it's 2 weeks from today.
I walked up there and I saw, oh my God, that's not supposed to be there.
No, we're actually 12 days out from that one.
So team, it's a group. It's a team as opposed to a single main character. And it's got a warlock.
All right.
So there's enough in there to make it really worthwhile and interesting. And then the third one would be One Flew Over the Dragon's Nest by Boslow.
Yeah, that's another good one.
The relationship between the AI and the main character and the utter obnoxiousness of the AI is the key thing for me.
I know you're not an audio guy.
The weirdness of the world, where they know the Legionnaires are isekai in.
Yeah.
So
the audio for that one, though, Rebecca Woods did an amazing job with that.
And since I've read it, I can listen to it eventually.
I would recommend listening to that one. I will gift you a copy of that one because it was that good for me. I'll send you a code.
Send me a code.
I will.
So those are the recent top 3s.
Okay.
But again, I also have to say, James Hunter's Discount Dan. Oh my God, I just love him so much.
You know,
Discount Dan is the best.
Should I put my robe on? I got my robe over there. Just laying right behind me. You know what? I think I'm going to.
Damn you, Richie Stevens. I thought that was what you did that on purpose.
Actually, no. My cat's been laying on it. Oh.
Some year, I hate you. I may ban you.
Yeah. Nice
See what
try.
he did, Rex? See what happens? You leave, and I have to look at my real imitation Versace bathrobe that I do not have.
Here's
Thank
the thing, though. Here's the thing with the story for this one was I was told before Lit RPG Con that I'd be getting one because I got one of the very first copies of Discount Dan from James at Jordan Con, not this past year, but the year before.
That qualifies you. That's a fair
And
qualification.
I love James. I've been reading James since I started into my Lit RPG. And so like with James, he was like, Richie, you're gonna get a robe. You're gonna get one. I was like, sweet. As soon as I saw him at Lit RPG Con, there was no, hey James, hey Richie. I was like, James, robe.
Where's my
Now.
robe?
And he was like,
Now.
right here. So yes, I have the robe. And this
Yeah,
is
you had that.
So what I'm hearing is you just have to threaten violence, PopPop. Just have to be
I'm not
demanding.
threatening violence.
I just have that relationship with James where I know I will get my ass kicked. But here's the thing. I'm not scared of James. I'm a little scared of James. I'm more terrified of Jeanette. Jeanette is the one you got to be scared of.
She's the
also
protector.
She is terrifying, but I absolutely love her.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to meet her yet. So
She was at the Shadow Alley booth.
Of anybody, I'm more terrified of Dakota Kraut's daughter.
Yeah.
I heard she's
And
a
the
wheeler and
tattoo-
dealer.
tattoo
Yeah.
industry she has. So
Yeah.
James and Jeanette are absolutely amazing people, and so are Dakota and his wife. They're all just amazing.
agreed.
So I see we've got some questions coming in on the chat. Have you guys covered any of them?
Not yet. I actually was getting ready to ask PopPop one other question really quickly.
Okay, go for it, Richie.
So PopPop, now that you're newer into the Lit RPG genre, you've read quite a handful. Do you prefer, in the setting aspect of things, the more fantasy world type setting or the apocalypse setting? Because we're getting a good mixture of both now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah.
All right. I will back out.
No, you're good. Thanks for covering, Richie. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Richie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks everybody for being patient. I had a house guest that, ended up coming in right in the middle of the podcast, of course. So, but we've got some questions here for you, PopPop. The first one is, what type of cookie is the best cookie?
Oatmeal raisin.
Oatmeal
Without
raisin.
a doubt.
You're sounding very boomer-esque in that.
I can't help it. I've always just liked the oatmeal raisin cookie.
Yeah. We actually, Jen just made a batch of oatmeal craisin cookies, which
That's a little bit much.
they turned out pretty good.
Much.
Yeah.
Now I also have, the old fashioned sugar cookies, those big risen sugar cookies.
Big ones, yeah.
Yeah, those I can go for. And then sticky buns. If anyone knows what a sticky bun is, as opposed to a donut, I don't do donuts, but back in the day, a sticky bun or a cinnamon, it's not really cinnamon, but a sticky bun outranks them all.
Yeah. Do you, so on your sugar cookies, do you like them iced or with like sprinkled sugar on it?
A sugar cookie is just sprinkled.
Yeah,
You don't ice. You don't ice a sugar cookie.
Yeah, I agree on that one. Okay, Stacy. So that one was from Busy Bard. Stacy wants to know though, confirm what your first Lit RPG book was.
Dungeon Crawler Carl. I mean, I bought it in January. Again, I saw Legends and Latte back in 2022 and bought it and read it, but had no idea who Travis Baldry was. Had no idea what Lit RPG was.
Yeah.
Didn't know what Cozy was.
Yeah.
All I know is I like the damn story.
I guess we still got to love on Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's getting us great folks coming into the genre. So
look right there. There's a gap right there waiting for the hardcover of book 7 to fill in next to the
Dun dun
So
dun. I
next
think
to the
end of
paperback
month,
I
right?
bought.
I think it's end
So,
of October or
yep. No,
end of
September
September.
23rd, next
Yeah.
Tuesday. So I'll have my copy on Tuesday.
Any opinions on white chip macadamia nut cookies?
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. There you go, Busy Bard. Sorry about that. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
You mean African or European? You can't beat me.
Yeah. No, you can't. Brian agrees with you. All right, keep the questions up and I'll get to them, you guys. I'm just working through here. So, all right. So apparently Broken Jokers is saying that you and Gims need to join Hannah and her at high tea the Thursday before con. Are you going to be in town early enough for that? We're
We
going to do a high tea. I want to invite to high tea, BJ.
If Hannah commands us to be there, do we really have a choice?
We do not. So
Yeah,
Hannah, I want that invite.
So if I get
However
the
early
invite,
I need to come into Denver.
We'll be there again on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in nice and early because the flights are like, I don't know, 2:00 in the morning or, super early, 6:00 in the morning, 4:00, and it's just the weird time zone differences. We get there nice and early around 9.
Yeah. Kyle wants to know, what is the thing that you love most about not the lit RPG community, but the lit RPG books themselves? And I know you talked about like the progression aspect and Apocalypse, but right now, what's your favorite thing?
I like, and this will go beyond apocalyptic. It also goes into the isekais and some of the other, probably even some situations that may not be isekai if I find, but the building, the town building, the city building, the community building. So, Geneva always pushes Aileron, I think. So she was very hard, get the land, read the land.
I mean, it is one of the original.
It is original, and it's really good. I love Richter. I love Scion. So it's a great series. So I do love town building, community building, and in Wilmarth's series, it's town building.
Mm-hmm.
So in Rise of Mankind, it's world building. Ultimately, when he gets to the point where the invaders show up. So I like the building aspects as the biggest, even in an apocalyptic scenario.
It's interesting because it's a mechanic that our genre has, but it's not a mechanic that is super widespread. I mean, you can't point at one or two lit RPGs and be like that. I mean, maybe you can. So prove me wrong. Put it in the chat because I love town building too, and I haven't. A lot of the books that have town building that I love are not necessarily just about the town building, or that it's just an aspect of the story. It's not necessarily the point.
And there's still a lot more I have to uncover.
Yeah, same here.
So,
I mean, you can read for your whole life in lit RPG and still have a lot to uncover.
It's been around 10 years and I've been here 9 months or 10 months. So, heck, I'm newbie. I'm still a noob.
Well, Brian wants to know if you're going to get in on a slug tattoo over the next year.
The only type of tattoos I have are scars from my dogs.
Yeah.
So
it would be hard to get a scar from a dog.
I'm not going to defile my virgin skin with a tattoo.
Yeah.
I'm sure that is going to give people nightmares.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's all right. BJ is saying that they're going to make you sticky buns next year. So I think you have to make
emoji. You have to make them local because they're not
going to. Yeah, they're not going to fly well.
Last. You know, you have to buy them just as they come out the oven.
Yeah. Stacey's commenting that your book shelves have expanded quite a bit over the course of the last.
Those bookshelves have always been there. The contents, you are correct, have expanded. And I just keep putting books away to add. Yeah. So, I mean, over this way, I have 3 shelves down here over that way. I have 3 shelves of a nice mid-century bookcase that I can replace.
You're going to have to get like custom floor-to-ceiling bookcase with like a nice little roller.
Yeah, I didn't win the $1 billion, so that's going to take a little while.
There would be signs if we won the $1 billion, right?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there would be a 3-story library with a tower in the corner, in a cardinal corner, facing, north or south. It'll be just horrible.
Yeah. Looks like I might have gotten an invite to high tea. I love high tea too. It's fun. So you
As
guys
long
will
as
have
I
to
don't
let
have
me
to
know.
stick out my pinky, I'm fine and dandy.
I mean, but sticking out your pinky is, it's one of the best.
Come on.
We'll work on it.
I have to get practice. I have to find somebody.
There's a few people are like, I'll be there Thursday. I'll be there Thursday for high tea. So we might just have we just might take over the tea place and just, be ourselves.
We
So,
can do that.
mm-hmm. Brian wants to know what stories you'd like to see in Lit RPG and adjacent world. Like, is there a story that you want that you haven't seen yet?
I don't know. I don't. I'm not a creator. I react. If I see a story I like, I'm going to buy it. If I see a story that's meh, I'm not going to read that because it doesn't strike me yet. I'm not going to. But I'm not the creator.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the creative type. I will read what I see. So I can't really guess the future. I will always ask that of my authors because they're more involved in that creative process, like I did with Sean Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And when I have Wilson and all the other Seans coming up over the weekend, I will be asking them those questions to see where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll just read what I like as I find them.
Yeah.
And I have a whole bunch back there to read.
Yeah, your TBR is pretty
I have
long.
a shit ton. It's
Yeah.
never ending, by the way. That's going to ask my question. How long is my TBR? It's never ending.
I would say, for me, I definitely would like some more city builders. So if you've got a rec for me, put it in the chat. If you've got a rec for rec, put
There
it in
you
the
go.
chat for city builders, sort of,
And me too.
Yeah.
If you think there's something out there that I may not have seen, I'll go take a look and Reck will send me a transcript.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the land was kind of one like the original, but also how many lit RPGs that have city builder elements have really beaten it out from a city progression perspective.
Thinking of that, you're going to ask me a question. Go ahead and ask me that question. One book.
Yeah, what your favorite book of the moment is, or
no, you're going to ask me
the book that you are recommending to everybody right now
to be on everybody's TBR.
Yeah, to put it on their TBR.
I was prepared.
That was like the last question I was going to ask you.
I'm going to do it now.
Okay, we're doing it now.
Project Tartarus Archie.
Okay. Can somebody put that in the chat? Because just like Sour Patch, I also don't have access to the chat.
By Erebus Esprit. Isekai city building. Hardcore crunch. Seriously hardcore crunch.
So maybe not an audiobook.
No. Physical read. And you will appreciate the physical read of the book.
Mm-hmm.
The charts are out of this world. They're color-coded, and they're color-coded for a purpose because of the ranking of the spells and or the tools.
Are they color-coded in the print version?
Pardon me?
Are they color-coded in print as well?
Yes. And
wow.
It's magnificent.
That's awesome.
Literally magnificent. Yeah, read this. This is one of my most favorite books. And I know that this Erebus Esprit came up through Immersive Ink. In fact, he is has done the audiobook for one of Shammy's newer upcoming books.
Yeah.
So go take a look for that too. I know Shammy's been talking about her most recent release that's coming out, and Erebus is doing it. So Erebus is not only an author, he's a narrator.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best books I've ever read.
Yeah.
and I'll
Okay.
give them that. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Can
That's
you
all I
hold
can
that
say,
book up
Chris.
for us one more time for anybody who wants to get a snapshot of it? And I don't know, Richie, if you're listening, but if you could type that into the chat for everybody who's out
Erebus
there.
Esprits Project Tartarus. I started calling it Archie just because it's easier, but by the time once I read the pronunciation, I've got it down to where it's Archie.
Mm-hmm.
So
What? Who's it by?
Erebus Esprit.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do
So
you
that
spell the
is
last name?
so this
Or how
is
do you spell the author?
EREBUSESPRIT. Erebus Esprit.
so we've added a lot to PopPop's TBR. This is a moment where he is adding a book to our TBRs. So pick
And
that
it's
one up.
at this point, it's a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And the other two are up on my shelf, of course.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go back to some of the listener questions. Busy Bard wants to know if you will do a review of Legendary Moonlight Sculptor, and then he's
Do
got.
I even know what that is?
I don't know, but well, you're going to have to add it to your TBR. So,
What is it?
Legendary Moonlight Sculptor.
Is it a book?
Mm-hmm.
Who's it by?
Who is it by, Busy Bard? We'll see about getting that.
Find that for me.
Yeah.
Send it to me. Send me the name.
I'm still doing this. I apologize.
Is it one of those men's adventures books? You know, one of the spicies.
Hey, we don't be okay. Hold on.
I was sitting here like, what's a men's adventure?
Hold on. We don't talk shit about the harem on our.
Oh yeah, harem. That's it, harem. I haven't done it yet, so and again,
PopPop, I got a list for you. I got.
So
I
the
know.
name of the author
so does Andy Murphy. I'm sure.
Hisam Nam. Is that Busy Bard? Is that is it a Royal Road read? Is it a Amazon read? Yeah, Broken Joker says Dragon Daddies is the men's.
Oh God,
adventure.
don't even go to Dragon Daddy. That's a whole different thing. Jay and Sour Patch will be working on that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So no, I haven't done a harem lit yet. So, but again, if you look at it, it says PopPop Slit RPG Plus World, and the plus is meant to include harem, cozy.
Yeah.
You know, all the little, as I used to say, as we talked about the adjacencies, everything that's just not included in the classical concept of lit RPG, but the other things as well. I want to be able to expand the reach.
Yeah. So what that means is are you a harem reader? Is that a genre that you
I have not done that yet.
Okay.
But I am not opposed. Now, if Trailer Park Elves comes into paperback, I will read it, but I am not gonna.
You're not gonna listen to it.
Not gonna listen to it, and I'm not gonna give him easy money on an ebook. I want the damn paperback.
You want the paperback. Okay, so harem and paperback only. That's the recommendations for PopPop.
Yeah, then it'll have to go into a new library with those beads, you know, coming down. Yeah, so Gibbs can't really get back into that part of the library.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it'd be the adults only section.
Mm-hmm. Poor Gibbs. Stacy, here's the diet soda here for you.
Product placement. How much money did you get paid from Pepsi for that?
Well, so far I've just been giving Pepsi money. So
yeah.
Piano Ninja is saying temporary tattoos is maybe a thing that we need at the next con.
I did that. Dakota Kraut's daughter sucked $5 away from me for a temporary tattoo.
So we just need like cute little kids. I actually don't know what age Dakota's daughter is, but we need cute little kids giving away tattoo, charging for
giving
tattoos.
Away.
Charging for tattoos.
The next day, James Hunter's kid, I think it was, came up and said
they were both out there hustling the
I was out there and I was trying to get away, and I said, I don't have any cash on me. It's okay. I take credit cards.
Now, to be fair, the money they made was like so they could get some stuff in the vendor hall too. Like they put their hard work to.
They did. Oh, it was not easy, and it was an excellent product. Mickey Mouse ears.
Yeah.
You know, had to go with Mickey Mouse ears since we're
Now,
Disney.
PopPop, you got to get a slug tattoo. You got to join us in getting the slug tattoo. I'm getting the
If-
slug tattoo.
We'll have temporary tattoos. We'll make this happen.
I'm getting Richard on top of Cole's hammer.
That sounds really dirty.
Yeah,
It
it is. It does, and that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, we'll have to put in that request for Morpheus to draw that for us. So, yeah. Looks like BJ's gonna. So BJ is local. That's why she can do sticky
Okay,
buns
that's
for
fine
you.
then.
Yeah. So
if I get fresh sticky buns, I will have insulin with me, and I'll be ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Iron Eyes wants to know if there's any favorite regression lit RPGs that you've read here.
Fun story. I was talking to Papa Fid in Immersive Inc. and I wanted to find out who from that group I should first interview, and I guess a couple of them got together and discussed and suggested Dominic Ruiz. And Dominic Ruiz wrote The Return of the Wind Mage. And that is my first regression. So before I read that book, regression was like, well, that's just stupid. You know, why go back in time when you know
The number's
everything's
supposed to
gonna
go up.
happen and you already know everything? So what good is that? You're just going to do something totally different. You're going to go, you know, shoot Hitler's mother in the head before he was born or something horrible like that. But because no one ever does that anyway. And so I never ever thought of regression as one that I would like. But Dominic's book opened my eyes to the little twitches, little things that could be brought into the universe once the regressors go back. Limitations that can be put on, and to
get a torch from somehow.
Your plan, a plan never survives first contact with the enemy. So when you go back, your plan is not going to go the way you want it to.
Yeah.
So that opens my eyes to what you can do with a regression. So I don't know enough about regression yet. I do have some more regression books on my library now to read, to follow up, including book 2 of Return of the Wind Mage. So stand by. I'll let you know in the future.
Yeah. So Stacy wants you to explain what harem lit is.
ask Richie.
That is more of a Richie question. Yeah.
I believe it's a story with a guy and a bunch of really hot females of multiple enough different types of females,
different partners. Yeah.
So it might take the word fox a little bit more literal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it. That's all you're getting from me.
So there was another question if we were interested in kingdom builders as well as city builders, and I would say generally yes.
Same thing.
Yeah,
Same
just
thing.
a little bit wider scale.
Yep.
Okay, so with your TBR list, yada yada yada, books long. How many books on an average on a week are you reading? Would you say, or in a month?
At this point, I can probably do 2 to 3.
2 to 3 books a week
at most, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, because I would literally just read a few minutes here and there. Now I do have the ability to read a lot more, and I still get up I used to get up at 4:00 to play my solo games. My games before people woke up. So now I get up at 4:00 and I read. I try to get an hour or 2 to read before Gibbs gets up, before my granddaughter gets up.
Does anybody else get up at 4 a.m. to read Lit RPG? That's commitment. You should be in like the Lit RPG Hall of Fame.
Well, as you get old, you don't sleep as much anymore. So,
yeah.
But my brain, my brain turns on at 4:00.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, why should I just lay in bed?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Well,
need that second alarm to get out of bed.
yeah, you're just awake. Yeah.
Yes.
So has Gims, it sounds like you've given her the gateway drug of DCC. Is she coming along the lit RP journey? What does she think of all of
First
this?
of all, she did have a great time. Even though I was surprised. She said, "Sure, I'll go," and then she just had a blast of a time, um, hanging out with Noodle Dragon and Tiffany. I'm sorry, Meth and BJ and Savannah.
Mhm.
And then getting to meet some of the authors. She went up into the vendor hall and she got her own copy of Apocalyptic Parenting. She bought one of Dakota's the fairy tale
Mhm.
knockoffs, or not knockoffs, but reworkings that he's doing. So she bought one of those. She hit the Shenhofen table where she got free stuff. So she just had a blast.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
And
It's great. That was the thing. Gen 2 had a blast, and they were really nervous about coming because they hadn't read a ton of lit RPG, even though they've read most of Wandering End. I was like, no, like you're gonna have
that's
fun.
not me. I'm not doing that. That's no.
Yeah.
Too far gone.
Too many words, yeah. But I mean, the nice thing about lit RPG con was like even the spouses and the significant others and stuff. Like, I mean, everybody seemed to have a good time. It was pretty, welcoming, and you know, yeah, there was enough variety that you could find something to latch onto. So it looks like Gary is also up at 4 a.m. Reading, and he looks like he's a listener of lit RPG instead of a physical book reader. Quite frequently, I may still be writing at 4 a.m. So we should have a like a 4 a.m. chat group. Yeah, check in. So okay, so next year, what does your con schedule look like? Are you going to Jordan Con, Lit RPG Con, Dragon Con? What does that look like for you?
Dragon Con, I think, unless something drastically changes, is just too many freaking people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll sit down with Tommy and see what his thoughts were and your thoughts and all that. But that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Jordan Con, I've never read Wheel of Time. Never read anything by Robert Jordan. So yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie Horse. So I'm not going to bother, even though I know a lot of people will go there. I'm going to spend all my time and all my money with Lit RPG.
Okay.
So you'll see me in July.
All right. Well, that's good. I mean, it's good to know, right? So the infamous PopPop, you're only going to see him at Lit RPG Con, so you got to prioritize that con anyway.
That's right.
So, yeah. Tommy, are you part of the 4 a.m. Writers Club? Are you waking up to write at 4 a.m.? Or are you still up at 4 a.m.? Because we need to.
He's waking up at 4 o'clock saying, "Damn, Jay's written 1,000 words more than me already."
That's true. It's true. Like, crap. Jay's already. Yeah. I'm not sure Jay sleeps. I'm not sure Jay's human. Under the steel mask, there's just a bunch of cogs twitching. Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need sleep.
So, how long is your TBR at this point? I know BJ was saying hers is like 406.
Look, there it is. It's endless.
Yeah. Would you say like hundreds, thousands? Hundreds. How do you make a decision on what the next book to read is? I struggle with that because I also have a very long TBR list, but
again, I want to go back and I want to pick up, book 2 of I'm Not the Hero. I want to go pick up book 2 of He Who Hunts with Monsters. I want to pick up, book 2 of Primal Hunter. I want to pick up 2 of this, of that. More interesting things just pop up. When I want to do something, Kenny King pops in a book. I'm like, shit, I got to buy that Kenny King book and read it because, I love his system optimizations. And that'll just screw everything up.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah, I've just started. So like I just got caught up with Jay, and I mean the man writes so fast, but I just finished Stormbound Path, which is his last book out on the Immortals. And I just told Tommy, I'm like, I'm picking back up I'm Not the Hero, and I'm starting to read the second book of that and like working through stuff. But it's hard in a genre that has a lot of sequels and 14 books later, like parts, like 15 million words later, whatever, right? Like it's hard because if you're going for variety, it's hard to go deep on some of these books.
Well, with Tommy, at least we only have 3.
Yeah.
Until
Yeah.
December 2nd.
They
We'll
are
have a 4th
chonky
one.
though. It's not like they're 3.
No, they're not. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like they're 60.
We're not picking on them. We just know them so well.
Yeah,
so
we just
we can get away with things with them. If
Yeah.
I go and I start picking on Matt Dinneman, I'm going to start getting banned from places more than Richie or faster than Richie.
You're gonna get feet pics or something. Yeah.
So
but I mean, at the end of the day, it is hard to figure out which book to pick up next for me.
Well, I will tell you, book 8 of DCC comes out. It's getting read no matter what.
Drop everything.
Whatever I'm reading, it gets put down.
Mm-hmm. That's the funny thing is I've actually gotten to the point for like He Who Fights with Monsters and DCC where I haven't read the last couple books because I'm just waiting because I don't want to reread to then read the next book, then to have to reread the whole series. So I'm just kind of waiting for things to wrap up to then just
I
give
can't
it another
reread, so
yeah,
it doesn't matter. I mean, maybe I'd be able to reread something in Dinneman's series. I don't know.
Yeah.
But normally I can't reread.
Yeah.
Ever.
Really? So you have that physical book, you read it once and
then it's there and I don't want to read it again because I don't know if I have it all in my brain somewhere.
So for you, is it that adventure of that first read through where you're discovering the world? That's the real motivator. That's
a good way of putting it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some books I reread just from like a comfort factor or whatever, but I also just can't keep all the details in my mind. So if it's a series like DCC,
I don't need that much comfort.
Yeah, fair. Are we living in America, PopPop?
There you go, Jay. That's for you. Boomers don't need comfort.
Yeah, millennials, we need our bankies. Yeah. Okay, so tell me about this PopPop needs a cookie thing. Can you explain it to me like I'm a boomer? Like what's that about?
No, you're not a boomer, so I can't explain it to you like you are one. In Below Decks or in the Discord, I decided to come up and I created a persona of being a boomer, and I said a lot of boomery type things.
Yes, Jay's got a whole catalog of the boomery things you've said.
Mm-hmm. He would just cut and paste things that I would type in.
Half the time, Jay would paste your comment in, and people would get confused that you said it to whatever they were saying. Yeah.
But I did. Yeah, but again, he just reposts. It's like retweets or whatever have you. So BJ just came along and started tossing cookies at me after we started. Once we figured out that she was going to be the baker.
Mm-hmm.
Once I would say a boomerish comment, she would just toss a cookie.
Yeah.
The cookies are like Ritalin. They're meant to calm down the boomer.
So they have an opposite effect as they have on kids.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, they don't. No, actually they're the same. Just like, I drink coffee all day long. I just had a cup.
Uh-huh. So I think cookies are your comfort instead of rereading books.
It could be. So if you have ADHD, you do it. You do sugar. You do Ritalin, and it calms you down. Coffee, caffeine calms you down. Cookies calm the boomer down.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that you can get bribed by cookies.
I can get bribed by books.
Okay.
Books.
BJ saying books and cookies.
Yes.
The combo. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, what's next for you? So your PopPop's Lit RPG Plus world. What are your goals with that? What's going on there?
Well, I want to be able to continue doing conversations with authors and fans. I think Wilkie's in the audience, right?
Yeah. So, it was at one point at least, yeah.
I want to sit down with him and talk with him. That would be a really good conversation. Take a look at all his comments on Lit RPG, the con related areas. So I
There's a
definitely
couple of you that are very prolific fans that are just kind of all over the forums.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I just so you, I mean, I'm pushing for Geneva to have a panel with you all. So you should fill out the author application guest
I'm
panelist.
not an author, so I'm not.
I know. I'll bug Geneva to get into their option there.
So that I want to keep doing. I would like to get to the point where I'm doing. If I get enough subscribers and fans and followers, so I can do live on Facebook and do live up on the YouTube channel.
How many fans and subscribers do you need for that?
I think for Facebook Live, I just need to go 6 months from the creation. I have enough fans. I have 200 some followers now. For YouTube, you need 1,000, I think, to really make it function. So I have 35. People,
so you got a little bit of ways to go
what
on
the
YouTube.
hell, people? Subscribe to me. It doesn't do anything. Click subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe to
Good
Chat
God.
Stats. Subscribe to PopPop's
Yes,
RPG
both of
Plus
us.
World.
Jesus, let's go, people. Do it.
Yeah.
You don't even have to come back until you see something. But I've also noticed that the shorter, my conversations, the long conversations are getting an okay amount of views. The short ones, the shorter tidbits, are getting more. So I'm going to start really, dissecting my interviews to put up, punchy little shorts on YouTube and get a little bit. Right now, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make his head so big he won't even be able to fit into the helmet. That Jay Krause's announcement of the 1.5 words has the highest amount of views. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
So
his ego's expanding. As
I know, right?
Yeah.
So it's the shorties, the short ones that will actually do a little bit better. So I'm gonna concentrate on dissecting the conversations I've had with Ryan and TJ and Aaron and Sean and Sean and Sean and Sean and Sean, and populate them that way. But what I would love to do is to be able to get to a point where I can have an author and an audience on a live. I mean, not just like this where you and me are talking, but I want to have an audience and 9 people. In StreamYard we can do a live stream and have 9 or 10 seats. So have
like a round table.
And
you're gonna have to get good at like moderating something like that.
Yes, and I'd probably hire. Hopefully by then you have someone in the background to help. And just let you know if you say something wrong, you're just gone.
Yeah.
If you start going in, some weird path, you'll just get booted.
Yeah.
Because it's not a democracy. So that's what I would like to be, where you can have,
BJ, give him a cookie.
9 really good fans up there in a specific area and talking to a
panel of authors,
an author, or having a panel of authors.
Yeah.
Discussing something. And that's what ultimately I would like to get. It's all about the fans and all about the authors, and that's what I want to continue emphasizing. And also, see up there, up on the wall, right there. That's my Slayer bowl.
Yeah.
You and I will eventually have to talk about.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about it because it was, I mean, that book's.
That's a one of a kind.
It is one of a kind. We're gonna have to talk about the Philly connection because I think there was a bit of it that went over my head just because I didn't.
And that's what really hit. That's what hit. Yeah, and it's a good story about how we got together as well at the con.
Yeah. So
that and Kenny King, but I'm not going to tell the Kenny King story until I get clearance from him.
Yeah. So a couple of things. We will put socials up on the Well-Rucked Discord, so we'll get those out, and we'll get those out on the PopPop Lit RPG and the Ruckwell Facebooks. So we'll get those out to everybody probably tomorrow. Iron Eyes wants to know if you'd ever want to record interviews from con, and that's a good question. I feel like when you're at con, if you're doing interviews, and I think Richie struggled with this, it's hard because you want to have the experience of con yourself. You don't want to be necessarily interviewing people. I don't know if you feel the same.
The first con I was just going, panel just to learn and to see everybody. And the Saturday morning to mid afternoon Colorado room panels, and the big ones were just phenomenal. Every single one. And as you know, I was waiting for this. I am trying to get these guys together again.
Yeah. Yes.
To show back up, and Haylock
with their suits. I think that's
Haylock
going to
really
be.
wants to be there next year, guys. Be nice to Haylock. Get him in there. So
is anybody not nice to Haylock? I mean, that seems like
everyone has
sin.
to be nice to Haylock.
Yeah.
And God, he fed you guys Monday morning. What the hell? So I would not be adverse to it now because I didn't have that, and I know I did see Richie running around going, struggling, trying to get things and still enjoy things because he has just so many people to know and do. But I have no problem. I would have no problem doing that. I can converse with anybody anywhere.
Yeah.
So just give me a selfie stick at this point.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that's a yes, Iron Eyes, that he is thinking about recording interviews at cons. So we might have to have like the pop room or something. So
corner,
yeah.
A corner. So.
Well,
I don't want to get Geneva involved trying to get me into.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. That girl, she has got enough going on from an organization. I've heard that we've got a whole nother floor at the con next year, so there's going to be even more. Yeah, yeah. So, and for those of you who are authors that are on, make sure that you start filling out your Lit RPG Con like author, info so that you can get slated to be a guest author. That's all live right now. And if you haven't followed it, it's on the Discord, it's on the Facebooks, or just like reach out to me and I'll give you the link too. So I'm still working on filling out my stuff because it's like you have to put a bio in there. The bio is the hardest. I don't know, Tommy, if you've done yours, you're gonna have to give me some tips and tricks because.
And remember, thank you, Rhino Z, because now you have to put a real photo in there.
Yeah, right. You have to put a real photo and try to make sure you actually put what book you're known for. You're gonna get. Might not make it. Yeah. All right. So we have a collaboration that we wanted to talk about here in the waning. We're a little over time, so let's talk about that real quick. Yeah.
Sorry.
So we're gonna do a collaborative sort of every couple of weeks sort of podcast.
A couple weeks to a month within, a couple times a month to a month. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out. And we're gonna talk about books that we've read, and it's gonna be less Reck interviewing PopPop and just more of us just chit-chatting about the books we've read and why we were liking them. And we're both reading at a pretty high velocity, so that'll be a good way to connect with folks and hopefully get some of those.
And that's going to be the Reck and PopPop show. Yeah. Literally has a name, and
it does. Yeah, we've even got a graphic that we're working on tweaking. So so if you liked us tonight, you can get more of us just talking about Lit RPG and having fun and throwing cookies around. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
So stay alert.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So we'll get that out on socials. We're still picking our first date. I'm right now in a pretty heavy editing cycle for Stumbling Up Book 1, but it'll probably be a couple weeks from now. But we'll get that on everybody's calendars on both our socials. So,
yay.
Yeah, excited. All right. Any last words, PopPop? What's your closing boomerism for tonight?
I am so tired right now, and I have to still do an interview, a conversation. Who do I have? I have one of my Sean's coming up. Who's coming up? Hold on. I have a Sean. I'm doing a Sean interview conversation tonight, so I have to get ready.
Well, good luck with your interview. I think the boomerism for tonight is this isn't a democracy. PopPop is king.
This is not a democracy. I can always say, stay off my lawn.
There you go. Stay off your lawn. Yeah. The question is it Sean Wilson? Is that the one you're interviewing?
No, Sean Wilson is not tonight. Sean Wilson is tomorrow morning.
4 a.m. tomorrow, Sean Wilson.
Not that early.
Thanks, everybody, for joining tonight. Really appreciate it. And you'll get to have more of Reck and PopPop here in a couple weeks. So appreciate it, everybody. Touch base on socials, and we'll get you the information about PopPop socials, my socials. Hopefully you can find one of us. We're hanging about. So
Reck, thanks for having me. Richie, thanks for being back there. Appreciate you both.
Yeah, thank you, Richie. All right. All the love, folks. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.